call my parents and apologize for the hell that I gave them, because now experience caused me to see that they were right and I was wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. The same is true for Imam Warathin Muhammad. The Imam, when he took, after the Nation of Islam fell, and he took the brothers and sisters into what is called Orthodox Islam, right? Which is an oxymoron, but we just use the term. You still today have a Muslim community in America, right? With millions of black people that are Muslims. The Arab world didn't accept Imam W.D. Muhammad. They didn't accept him. I'm sorry. They rejected him. And they rejected him because even though he didn't agree with his father, he learned so much from his father, right? That he couldn't accept everything that they were saying 100%. You understand? Okay. So you have a whole community of Muslims that follow Imam Muhammad, right? And love the most honorable Elijah Muhammad because they all came up in the nation. Are y'all following? They are our brothers and sisters in Islam. Are y'all with me? Okay. Can we go to the next slide? So now, I had to make sure that Clarence 13X was on the flyer. When the brother first made the flyer for me, he wasn't on there, right? Then I called him back. I said, brother, you got to put Clarence 13X on the flyer. Why? Clarence 13, I know what you're saying. If you in the nation, man, I thought that he left the mosque. He was in the mosque and he left. And then he took the lessons and just started teaching people. Just started teaching all these young people in New York. He did exactly that. He was in the mosque from 1960 to 1964, right? And when he left the mosque or the nation, the lessons that we keep as a secret, right? He went to young children and gave it to them freely. Why? See, you right now, you older ones, everything that we saying that you don't agree with, see, you got this filter that the white man put in your head to filter out everything of truth coming from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's why we got to go so hard. Because if we don't go hard, then you'll reject it outright. You understand? But those children, guess what? They didn't have that filter. You can teach your children anything. There's a meme going on right now on Twitter. I'm going to tell my children that this is Michael Jackson, or I'm going to tell my children that this is so-and-so. Why? Because you can tell your children anything, and they will believe you. You told them that Santa Claus was real, and they believe that. Then they come here and find the truth and looking at you crazy, right? So now, if he gave them truth and they didn't have a filter, then they accepted it wholeheartedly. Are y'all following me? Now, we didn't live during this time, so we weren't there to know the ins and outs of what was going on, right? And at that time, it appeared like he was doing something wrong, right? But you know, Allah doesn't waste anything. Allah wastes nothing. Are y'all with me? When Clarence 13X left the mosque for 4 years, right? You went to college for 4 years and didn't get nothing from it. No legacy, no money, no job, 4 years, student loan debt. That's all you got. You understand? Muhammad, you putting college down? No, I'm not. Like Shaheed said, I got 2 degrees. But guess what? It means nothing when you compare it to the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Absolutely nothing. So now, hold on. So when Clarence 13X left and started teaching all of these children the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he started a group, the Nation of Gods and Earth, or the 5% Nation of Islam. And all of the rappers, all of them from New York for the most part, all of them were 5%ers. Are y'all listening? So when we were growing up, those of us who came in the nation and we listened to Rakim, right? We listened to Nas, right? We listened to Jay-Z, right? All of these rappers from New York, they were all 5%ers. Brand Nubian, the whole Wu-Tang Clan. You mean ODB? Yes. His 5% name was Asun Unique. All of them. You mean Ghostface? Right. Poor Righteous Teachers. All of those rappers from New York that we grew up listening to, they were all 5%ers. And so what they got from Clarence 13X, they put it in the music, right? And then we who grew up blind, deaf, and dumb, right? We who grew up without the knowledge of self, we listened to the music, and then we got the lessons from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad in the music, and then came in the nation. Only Allah could have done that. You understand what I'm saying? So the 5% nation, these are our brothers and sisters. We talking about Jay Electronica. We talking about Erykah Badu. We talking about Carmelo Anthony. All of them. They're Queen Latifah. They're our brothers and sisters in Islam because it was their music that led us to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So how can you reject Clarence 13X when most of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him taking the teachings to our people in the street? Okay, let's keep it moving. Listen to what Rakim said. Tell me when y'all ready. Rakim is a 5%er, right? He's the greatest rapper, period, point blank, right? I know you might disagree, right? You might disagree, but you don't have a leg to stand on. I'm sorry, right? Let's just keep it moving because that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. In his book, Sweat the Technique, listen to this. Elijah Muhammad's example of personal sacrifice is rooted in the fact that he brought something profound, knowledge of self and Islam to Black Americans at a time when ignorance and white racism were working overtime to keep the Black race from moving forward. As founder of the Nation of Islam, Muhammad emerged and led this cultural awakening, influencing many people, including Nation of Islam minister Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan, as well as Clarence 13X Smith, founder of the 5% Nation. I wish somebody was listening. So Clarence 13X, guess what? That's our brother. Let's keep it moving. Now, another student of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the godfather of blackness, AKA Black Jesus, is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, his name was Cassius Clay, right? And Cassius Clay was in Miami, and he met a brother by the name of, at that time, Captain Sam, right? And this brother is the one that introduced, well, let me say, I can't say introduced, I can say that he is the one that Muhammad Ali came to the mosque and heard teach. Because Muhammad Ali's brother had already heard the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad before, and he was the one that introduced him to Muhammad Ali. But when Muhammad Ali came to the mosque, it was this brother by the name of Captain Sam that taught Muhammad Ali. Captain Sam is Abdul Rahman Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. So now, I gotta say this, and I apologize in advance because I'm gonna go a little overtime, brothers and sisters. Abdul Rahman Muhammad, when you read the FBI files, everything that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad did, the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover was working against him. When Minister Rahman was in Miami, they wanted to destroy the mosque in Miami because he was so successful. So what the FBI would do is they would write bogus letters acting like they're a believer in the mosque and then mail them to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and to get the minister of the mosque removed. Are y'all with me? It didn't work. because not only was Minister Rahman successful, but he became the minister in Atlanta and became even more successful. You understand? The FBI was so treacherous that during this time, in Dallas, there was no minister in Dallas. So there was a minister in Houston, right? So the minister from Houston would go to the Dallas mosque on some Sundays and teach, and then he would teach in Houston on some Sundays. Are y'all with me? So the FBI started a rumor in the Houston mosque that the minister had a girlfriend down in Dallas. And then they started a rumor in the Dallas mosque that he was taking the money from Dallas back to Houston. You understand? But guess what? Those mosques are still there. And they're still thriving under the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Everything that the enemy did was a failure. Every article that was written about the Nation of Islam, starting in 1959, I gotta read this quote. Can y'all bear with me, please? I am wrapping it up, I really am. Listen to what Brother Jabril said. Tell me when y'all ready. Back in 1959, this is in a book called This Is the One. Back in 1959, the white press, as if on signal, launched a furious attack on Messenger Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, following the dishonest portrayal of us entitled The Hate That Hate Produced. Through such publications as Time, U.S. News and World Report, Newsweek, The Reporter, Esquire, Confidential, True, and Saga, a host of other magazines and newspaper, white America spewed forth a flood of articles, both superficious and spurious and poisonous in nature. A few among them did a credible job as far as they went, but the bulk of what was written was insidious and rotten to the core. Listen to this. But it did not hurt us. Now, but Brother Jabril wrote this, but what he didn't know is that at that time, is that the FBI orchestrated everything. Every article that you read about the Nation of Islam goes to the FBI first. Either they write it, and then the newspaper man puts his name on it, or the newspaper man would write it, give it to the FBI, they say, no, add this, this, and this, take this out, and then they would publish it. So the whole public perception of the nation through the press was manufactured by the FBI. I wish somebody was listening. So you got Negroes quoting news articles to try to attack the nation, when in reality you quoting the FBI. I remember when we were getting ready for the Million Man March, and the white man in Chicago Tribune, I don't know if y'all remember, for 3 days they had articles back to back to back about the minister, right? Saying that he's taking money from the poor, saying all of these different things, right? And you know, the minister, he don't run from a fight, he runs to the fight. So he called us all out, right? He had a special meeting that night, and he just asked a question. He said, am I taking more money from the poor than the Chicago Tribune? And after he said that, everything was shut down. Because they're robbing the poor. You understand? Let's keep it moving. So now, Muhammad Ali came in the nation, changed his name, right? They wanted him to fight in Vietnam. He refused, became the greatest athlete in the history of the world, right? He has inspired thousands, millions, right? In the television show, The Godfather of Harlem, they have Muhammad Ali in there. It's just full of the students of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? And there's a scene where Muhammad Ali is kidnapped by the mafia, and they tell him to throw the fight, right? Now, it didn't happen like that. Like I said, the TV show is complete fiction. But what happened in reality is the mob did come to Muhammad Ali, and they did tell him to throw the fight, right? And they said that he didn't throw the fight, they was going to shoot his kneecaps out. And Muhammad Ali went to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and said, dear holy apostle, they told me that if I don't throw this fight, they're going to shoot my kneecaps out. And he said, tell them that they got kneecaps too. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. So now, I just got to show this picture real quick because everybody's talking about Colin Kaepernick. Some of y'all want him to be a slave for the NFL. Can we go to that? But he said that he was inspired by who? He said that he was inspired by Muhammad Ali. What am I showing you? I'm showing you that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the godfather of blackness in America and the world. All praise is due to Allah. When you see these athletes, listen carefully. When you see these athletes getting these $1 million contracts, the only reason that they're getting them is because of Muhammad Ali. Because Muhammad Ali, with the help of the FOI, so the mob couldn't come and take over the fights. So then Muhammad Ali was able to get that money. When Jim Brown was in the NFL, Jim Brown was making $50,000 a year in the NFL. They wasn't paying those athletes nothing. But then when Muhammad Ali started to get paid millions, guess what? He opened the door for all the other black athletes to get what? To get paid millions. So all of these athletes that get these $1 million contracts, they're benefiting from the sacrifice and the struggle of Muhammad Ali, who is a student of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Let's keep it moving. Now, Malcolm X. Malcolm X, we know the story, right? Malcolm X is a student of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, anytime you have the enemy always tries to misconstrue the relationship between the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. Are y'all with me? They never show the father-son relationship that these two men had, right? When Malcolm was in prison, there was nobody named Brother Baines that came and told him about Islam. Brother Baines is fiction in the Spike Lee movie. Malcolm X's entire family joined the Nation of Islam. Reginald was the youngest and the closest in age to Malcolm, so the family sent Reginald to tell Malcolm about the Nation of Islam. Not only did they send Reginald to tell Malcolm, but they also asked the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, would you write a letter to him while he's in prison? So Reginald goes to Malcolm in prison and says, look, I can get you out of here if you stop eating pork and you stop smoking cigarettes. Well, you know, Malcolm's a hustler. So he think like it's a scheme, like he was gonna get sick and they was gonna let him go. So he stops smoking and he stops eating pork. Reginald keeps coming to prison to give him the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm is so inspired because now he has the teachings from the Lamb of God that washes away the sins of the world, right? And Malcolm starts to read everything in the prison library. You understand? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad writes him a letter. And in the letter, he gives him $5. Now, this is in the 1940s. If you send $5 to somebody in jail right now, they're going to be thanking you. Most of us, we don't go see our family that's in prison. We just go on the website. Oh, yeah, he there. I see him. There you go. Right? So now, not only did he write him, but he sent him money. Are y'all with me? When Malcolm X, the day Malcolm X came out of prison, you know, they give you some clothes to wear, right? The day he got out, he came to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad's house. Imam Warfdeen Muhammad said that he still smelled like prison when he was at the house. Are y'all with me? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't reject him because he had gone to jail. He took Malcolm and made him into a world leader with the knowledge that he gave him. Now, you know that you can't be the leader of nothing in America as an ex-convict. You can't even drive Uber. Come on, man. You can't even deliver white folks food in Uber if you got a record. You understand what I'm saying? You mean I can't pick up fries from McDonald's and drop them off at your house? No. You understand? So you're not going to become the leader of nothing, right? Because in this world, they hold that against you. Try to become the leader of the NAACP, and you were ex-con, you was a pimp, you was a hustler, you was a gangbanger, right? You think they're gonna make you the leader? Absolutely not. Try to become the leader of the SCLC. Try to become the leader of the Urban League. You understand? Try to become the leader just try to become the pastor. Try to get over the usher board. Are y'all with me? Try to be the leader of the block club. Soon as they find out you got a record, what's going to happen? But this man was an ex-convict, but the Lamb of God washed away the sins of the world and made him a world leader. You understand what I'm saying? So now, they say that, well, brother, see, what you ain't saying is Elijah Muhammad got jealous of Malcolm because Malcolm was so successful. Now, I have children. Some of you have children, right? And if your child becomes successful, are you going to be angry? No, you angry because they a bum right now in your basement. That's what makes you angry. Not that you successful and a world leader. No, hell no. You in the basement. You making too much damn noise. You need to get out of my house. You're a bum. I'm angry. I'm not angry if you out there making money. I'm not angry if you out there handling your business. I'm not angry if you come from my house with what I gave you and you become a world leader. No, I'm a proud father. You understand? So I got to wrap it up, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad was not angry or jealous of Malcolm. That's a lie that white people tell because they always want to make it seem like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is some underhanded man, some man that's scheming on black people. When this man lifted up not just the people that we see. You listen to James Brown. When he said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. That's Elijah Muhammad. When you see Sister Sonia Sanchez, she was Sonia 5X. When you see Etta James, she was in the Nation. When you see the Delphonics said that they wanted to make a song that everybody would be singing about Allah. And they made that song. La, 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 means. Y'all know I don't listen to R&B. Right, you know the song, right? That's the they wanted to slip it in on black folks. You understand what I'm saying? You can't escape the influence of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. You like the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers learned from Malcolm. When the Black Panthers wrote their 10-point program, they got a Muhammad Speaks, turned it to the back page, copied what was on Muhammad Speaks, and made it their own. Minister Abdullah said he was there when they did it. So what are we talking about? You listen to Jeremiah Wright, right? Jeremiah Wright was a student of a man named James Cone. James Cone is the founder of what's called Black theology. He used to debate Malcolm X and lose. So then he started a whole black theology. And one of his primary students was Jeremiah Wright, who was the pastor of Barack Obama. You can't escape the influence of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. Okay, brothers and sisters, I gotta go. But now I can't go without saying this. I'm gonna do this one real quick. I'm sorry, brothers. Y'all please forgive me, I'm done. Brothers and sisters, can we put up the slide with Alex Haley? Alex Haley is the one that wrote the autobiography of Malcolm X real quick, but that wasn't his greatest success. When he came to get permission to write the autobiography of Malcolm X, it was really supposed to be an autobiography of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Did y'all know that? Now you know. The FBI sent Alex Haley to the home of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Alex Haley was working for the FBI. I know I'm hurting somebody's feelings, but truth is truth. And his intention in writing the autobiography of Malcolm X was to get all of this information, then write this negative book about Malcolm and so-called expose the nation. Are y'all following me? It didn't end up like that, because when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, that's what caused me to come in the Nation of Islam. So it didn't end up like the FBI wanted. All their plans against Muhammad failed. So now, when Alex Haley heard this, that black people who came to America were Muslims, he was like, man, that ain't true. And then he went and researched it. And when he researched it, guess what he found out? That his family was in fact Muslims when they were brought over, his foreparents. Are y'all with me? And he wrote a book called Roots, and that book became his greatest success. The book was turned into a movie and is one of the greatest television movies of all time. And all he got was just a fraction, just a little fraction of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. But he took that and expounded on it. Are y'all with me? So now we got to wrap it up. I'm done. Of all of these students of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, there's one that stands out. The one that stands out was the best student in the ministry class of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Listen to what the scientists say. The scientists say that everything in nature reproduces after its own kind. So if the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, if we say that he fulfills what the scripture says about Jesus, right? And we share that with you, some of it, right? And then we know that everything in nature reproduces after its own kind. Are y'all with me? Then if he makes his man in his own image and after his own likeness, then the man that he makes will be just like him. Are y'all following me? So when you see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is an extension of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is the greatest defender of black people in the last 40 years, it's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's just a fact. That's a fact. I'm sorry. Brothers and sisters, every enemy that has come against the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, all of them have failed to destroy this man. Every media personality that brought the Honorable Louis Farrakhan on his show, and they interviewed him and they tried to grill him with questions. What happened? He destroyed every last one of them. These media personalities are the greatest minds that white folks got. So they put him on television, and they put him on television to weigh people that they put on TV. So they put the Honorable Louis Farrakhan on there, and he destroyed every last one of them. So they go and get other black leaders to use against him. I gotta say this. I know y'all mad. I'm done. This is it. Every black leader that has come against the minister, he's defended them all, even though they've attacked him. I remember when the minister, this is back in the day, we were at Midway Airport, and he just got off the plane. And there was a politician named Mel Reynolds who said all manner of evil about the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Well, Mel Reynolds got locked up. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I was a lieutenant at the time, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gets off the plane. Brother Melvin hands him the phone. It's Mel Reynolds' mother on the phone. The minister is talking to her. Now, I don't know it's Mel Reynolds' mother at the time. I'm just on post, right? We drive from Midway to it might have been O'Hare. I'm thinking now it was O'Hare. We drive from O'Hare to the federal penitentiary downtown, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan went to go visit Mel Reynolds while he was in prison. Now, this man spoke all manner of evil against the minister when he was a politician for the sake of white folks. You understand? Now, when I found out, I'm talking about me, this brother Abdul, when I found out that he was visiting Mel Reynolds, I was like, man, I can't tell y'all what I was saying. I just wasn't spiritually developed enough at that time to appreciate the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his divine mercy. So, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna end with this. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the godfather of blackness, because our consciousness was raised by him. The ones who he taught has influenced all black people, has influenced the entire world. I didn't get a chance to put Cesar Chavez in the PowerPoint. I didn't get a chance to, but he's influenced so many people with what he taught. Are y'all with me? So, but his greatest student is the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. When you're the man that stands in the position of the messenger of God and you just have to tell the truth, that's a position that earns you a lot of hate. Everybody can't take that hate. They can't take the weight of being the person to tell the truth and hated by the masses for telling the truth. It takes a special person, you understand? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is that person. So brothers and sisters, I have to apologize for going over the time, but I just wanted to make the point with the students of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that all of us love, but we have to focus on the teacher of each one of them, and that's the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, I want to leave you as I came before you with the greeting words of peace. We say in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. All praise is due to Allah. Brothers and sisters, how many of you all are visiting us for your first, second, or third time? Can I see by a show of hands? All praise is due to Allah. How many of you who are visiting us, how many of you believe what you heard today to be the truth and good for black people? May I see by a show of hands? All praise is due to Allah. My last question is this. How many of you would like to join the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? May I see by a show of hands? All praise is due to Allah. Those of you who want to learn more about the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, here's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to come down the center aisle. I want to shake your hand on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All praise is due to Allah. Brothers and sisters, at this time, make your way down the center aisle and shake the hand of our brother here, Student Minister Abdul Muhammad. He is extending his hand on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as we welcome you home to the Nation of Islam. All praise is due to Allah. Brothers and sisters, don't wrestle with yourself. Don't talk yourself out of it. This is your place. This is where you are intended to be at this time. Come down the center aisle and join on to your Nation of Islam. Look at all these beautiful black men, brothers and sisters. This is a beautiful sight on a Sunday for us to be uniting as family and becoming one and starting that process and that journey to become a better version of ourselves. Praise be to Allah. Brothers and sisters, did we learn something today? Did we get more insight and perspective about the power of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his influence over everything that we see today? Praise be to Allah. Just a few more, brothers and sisters. All praise is due to Allah. Brothers and sisters, let us thank each and every person that took that leap of faith today. And let's give it up one more time for our brother here, Student Minister Abdul Muhammad. He did a beautiful job. All praise is due to Allah. Brothers and sisters, we are near the end of our program. We ask that at this time the Ministry of Finance comes down the center aisle. In Islam, we have a principle called charity. In Arabic, we call it zakat, brothers and sisters, and we ask that whatever you can give or spare out of what Allah has blessed you to have, that you give it at this time as the receptacles come around. There are some scriptures in the Holy Quran and in both the Bible as well that talks about charity and how we should be giving in the cause of Allah or in the cause of righteousness, 10% of whatever Allah has blessed us to give. So we first of all thank you all for giving just the energy of your time, but on top of your time, if you have anything additional that you can spare,
please pass that around at this time. If you are watching via webcast, there should be a link on your screen that says Donate Now. You can click that, fill out your credit card or debit card information, and you can contribute to our charity as well for those who are viewing our national webcast. As the receptacles are going around, brothers and sisters, we have a few announcements. We first of all want to encourage everyone to come out to some of our weekly meetings throughout the week. No matter if you're in Chicago or if you're in a different city, find your local mosque or study group that is near you. And every Monday afternoon at 7:30 p.m., we have our men's class. We encourage every brother, no matter if you call yourself a Muslim or not, every single brother to come out and just hang out with your brothers in the Nation of Islam on Monday nights. We have a class that's a lot less formal. We go over some information, we share brotherhood, and then we answer whatever questions you may have about the Nation of Islam and how we can become better individuals as men and overall influence our communities and change for the better. For our sisters, your class is on Saturdays at 9 a.m. We encourage you all to come out and learn what it is to be a righteous woman of God, what are your duties, responsibilities, roles, etc. So that is for you as well on Saturdays at 9 a.m. And then we have a special announcement from our regional captain, Brother Dwayne Muhammad. He said that tomorrow is a very important special FOI class. He wants all FOI to come out, it's mandatory, and we are expecting to hear from our Supreme Captain, Brother Mustafa Farrakhan, as he addresses the entire nation. We'll be doing a national webcast, so every brother, if you can adjust your schedule, if you gotta work or something, we understand, but if you can adjust your schedule and be present on tomorrow night, would be greatly appreciated. And then last but not least, on Wednesdays and Fridays at 7:30 p.m., we have our weekly meetings. On Wednesday, we have our lecture next door at Muhammad University of Islam, and on Fridays, we have our study course, which is Self-Improvement, the Basis of Community Development. Brothers and sisters, we also, as the receptacles continue to go around, we want to remind you that Savior's Day is fast approaching. So February may seem like it's far off, but it's right around the corner. And this year, our Savior's Day has already been announced. We will be in Detroit, Michigan. You can go to noi.org/SD, stands for Savior's Day, SD 2020. You can find out the registration information, the hotel venue, where it'll be held, and you can also get your tickets as well. So we encourage you to log on and check out those details when you have time and start setting aside some money so we can make that transition and go ahead and travel to Detroit and be graced by the grace of Allah to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan again to address us as expected on Savior's Day, okay? Last but not least, we have a few local announcements. If everyone that is here in Chicago can just maintain your spots for about 2 minutes after we close out in prayer, we're gonna cut off the webcast and then we have a few local announcements, okay? All right, please stand for prayer. Attention prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, and not the path of those whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray. Ameen. Thank you for all of those who are tuning into the webcast.